Good morning, citizens of YouTube. It is I, Xerxes, Artaxerxes, wishing you wellness and blessings on this Sunday morning. A little overcast in my area, but nonetheless, it is great. It is blessed. Got my spring water, have my fruit smoothie waiting for me. Nonetheless, I thought I'd drop some facts and some truth. So I'm just going to go ahead and get into it. Children, they're so naturally intuitive, so wise, so knowledgeable. They are relatively new out of the earth. Sometimes the things a child can say can either leave you awestruck or like, that sounded stupid. Sometimes it's just a child being a child, having a child's grasp. Many people have opinions, theories, and ideas on what the shape of this reality is. When it comes to books, movies, comics, video games, media, I knew what it was. I knew the shape of this reality. When I was a child, when I was 4 or 5 years old, I was getting watched at some church event in the nursery. Like I said, 4 or 5 years old. And I'm really excited because I actually re-met this individual, this lady that was watching me. She must have been 15 or 16 at the time, but I don't got to name any names. I'm just excited because I got to meet her again. And she was explaining to me how the earth rotates on an axis, and how the sun, how we rotate around the sun, and how one face of the earth receives light, but the other receives darkness. And immediately I said, no. She said, what? And she kept trying to explain her position further. I said, no. I said no repeatedly until I eventually caved due to the situation. She was 15 or 16, I was 5. She was in a authoritative place. I just left it alone. But it's a memory that has stuck with me for years. Excuse my hair, I just got out of the shower, it's drying. It is what it is. See, children have natural intuition. They don't have a lot stored in their conscious. They rely on their feelings and intuition, what they feel. Children have so much discernment. They can tell when you're possessed. They can tell when you have dark, negative, demonic energy about you and in you. They will not fuck with you. Excuse my language. That's why some people don't like children. Why? Because they have some dark, negative energy either in them or around them. And they know that children don't like that. Also because they're loud. Children can be loud and other reasons, but mostly it's because you're afraid that a child is going to know what's inside of you. So she's trying to explain to me. And I refuse. See, the shape of this reality is not what you believe it to be. I had more knowledge and understanding when I was 5 years old than I did when I was in elementary school, in middle school, in high school, and even now to an extent. I'm still trying to connect with the innocence that I had and the purity that I had before I was brainwashed, before I was programmed by society, by education, by the educational system, by random individuals, by my parents, by my grandparents, by friends, whomever. I became a heliocentrist in elementary school. I had the truth when I was 4 or 5. And then I became a heliocentrist in middle school and then in high school. I was talking to my friends saying, hey, there are millions of solar systems, millions of planets, millions of stars, innumerable amounts of solar systems, all these things combined into a so-called omniverse. And in this omniverse there could be, or apart from this omniverse, there could be many omniverses. Then you start getting into parallel realities, alternate realities. Because this is designed, these theories are designed to make you question your place. Are we the beloved creation of God, or the process of randomness? The consequence of randomness. And my mind is still a little jumbled from waking up, so excuse the intermittent silence that does occur throughout these videos. I'm also thinking and planning on what I'm going to say. The shape of this reality is not a globe. In fact, what is this guy's name, this clown? Oh my goodness, this guy is a clown. What is this guy's name? He's a black astronomer. I think he's a physicist as well. I can't recall his name, but he has a mustache. He's hosted a documentary before on space. I wish I could. Neil deGrasse Tyson. Neil deGrasse Tyson was in a recent interview talking about how the Earth is not round. How it's not just a sphere, but it's an oblate spheroid. Oblique? Oblate? One of the two. He's saying it's an oblate spheroid, where it's pear-shaped. It's rounded out at the edges, more than the top or the bottom, because of gravity and so forth. This man's saying the Earth is pear-shaped. But every picture I've ever seen of the blue marble Earth, from NASA, from whomever, it has never been in such a shape. It has been round. Now you guys got to really understand, the Earth, with the tilt that it's at, if you do the mathematics, this comes out to 666. How fast the Earth is spinning around the sun. All these things. You break down the math, it's 666. You got to understand. These new wave rappers, one by the name of Juice WRLD, he has a new album called Death Race for Love. And on the left corner it says 999 life. You reverse the 999 life, that's a 666 life. This is deception. Back to what I was talking about. Shape of this reality is not what you believe it to be. You believe in space. You believe in the infinity of space. How it's either finite or it's infinite. It's always expanding. How there could be someone just like you on another planet, somewhere else in another solar system that you have no comprehension of. And these are the things I used to think as a young child when I was programmed. After I got programmed, I was still questioning it. How is this possible? Is there other people like me on another planet? Am I really the prized creation of God? It took me away from myself. From knowing my potential, from knowing the path that I was to be on. To make me feel insignificant in the grand scheme of things. As if I was not prized by my Creator. As if I was here because of the process of evolution. Process of randomness. Millions and billions of years. You all can't forget the knowledge and wisdom of your youth. I forsook it. I'm trying to get it back. Many are called, few are chosen. You know if you're chosen. You know. I don't have to sit here and say, this is how you know that you are chosen. By this, and this. You just know. It is something that is within you. And I'm so honored to have the Holy Spirit in my being, the Spirit of my Creator inside of me, to be able to distinguish between what is lie and what is truth. I've always had good scales in my heart. I can read a document, I can read something and say, this is false, this is true. By the slightest inkling, I can be like, this is bullshit, this is true. Science, what you all believe is science. What you believe is anthropogenic. It's made by man. You really want to put the responsibility of human self and the human mind into the hands of scientists that created something that they themselves are the most knowledgeable of? Why do you think they're so smart? They created this. This is a game. It's like a video game developer playing a game with you. He's going to know everything. He's going to know all the secrets. He's going to know everything. It's just going to be no fun. You are going to get squandered. You are going to get wrecked. You are going to get obliterated. Trees are not what they are. Beautiful trees. They're not what you think they are. These trees right here, they're not what you think they are. I have so many different things to talk about. But the sun, I keep getting off track. My apologies, y'all. The sun, heliocentrism. This is worship of the sun. This is worship of the sun god. If you believe that we are revolving around the sun, you are worshiping the sun. You're not worshiping God. S-U-N-S-O-N. You're worshiping the sun. You're worshiping the wrong sun. The sun is a blessing. But you are not to worship the sun. Not this sun. You're not to worship this sun. The S-U-N is what, the S-O-N is what you are supposed to worship. The Son of God, Jesus Christ. That's who you're supposed to worship. But if you believe your whole life is revolving around a physical sun like this, you're a pagan. You have no understanding. That's what they want you to do. They want you to worship the sun. Heliocentrism. Copernicus, Galileo, all these people were the elite. Isaac Newton, all these people. These people were Freemasons. Look at all their photos. They got their hand in their sleeve right here of their overcoat. This is a Masonic symbol. Come on, y'all. Worship of the sun. The sun brings health and life and information. We are not to worship the sun. I'm astounded at the lack of understanding. And I can't hate on anybody because I was once there. I was once programmed. I was once in the matrix. But with God, I plan higher. I'm connecting with my higher self, not just my lower self, not just my desires and my lusts. That's what it means to be third dimensionally based. You're here. You're elevating. You're not even elevated. You're descended here. You're living from a low place. You're living from a low frequency. When you're woke, when you're awoken, no longer sleeping, and realizing that you are materialistic, living in a dimension, a physical dimension, where you were just pleasing yourself and your desires. Those are the flesh. Your frequency is not high. Even if you are woke. And you still don't know the Son of God, your frequency isn't as high as it could be. Because this is a heavenly frequency. only the sons and the daughters receive. You guys gotta know, this is real stuff. This isn't just me talking out of my ass here. I've done so much research. Sometimes I was deceived along the way, because I was trying to understand. But I have to leave that up to the Holy Spirit to either say yes or no, and go my happy way. And to trust myself. I was getting involved in aliens and all this stupid shit. We can't leave. There's a firmament above us. And I'm going to start getting into some real things here now that it's coming to my remembrance. Admiral Burke. He was admiral. Dude was amazing. Basically, Operation Highjump. The U.S. government sent him on a mission to Antarctica to find out information about a secret Nazi base that had been constructed during World War II. So him and his ships, they're moving across. They're moving to Antarctica. When all of a sudden, crafts are rising out of the ocean. Before he knows it, his planes are involved in a dogfight with advanced technology that he has never seen or known of. What we would call unidentified flying objects, cigar, or cylindrical shaped, or saucer shaped. There's probably a myriad of different vessels that were employed that day. But it is documented, he was in a dogfight with flying saucers. Operation Highjump. Do the research yourself. I did it all. My son comes to visit me right now. My handsome boy. How you doing, my son? Hecka cute. And there is also, I believe, a story my grandfather told me. I'd have to cross-reference this, but I think he was telling me that Admiral Burke, something also happened to him where he was flying a plane. I don't know where he was at, but all of a sudden he went inwardly into the earth, and he came out on the other side. There's theories of the hollow earth, that the earth, there's actually places down there, Agartha, whatever it may be. But come on, y'all. Operation Highjump. The Nazis were so ahead of their time. You guys have no idea. World War II? Why do you think we got involved in that? Because of Pearl Harbor? First of all, Pearl Harbor was allowed to happen. Roosevelt knew about it. Everybody knew about it. He'd allowed it to happen so he could help out his buddy, Winston Churchill. Because Churchill was already fighting the Nazis. The French had been destroyed. The Polish had been destroyed. The Russians were in the process of being destroyed. Japanese were kicking everyone's ass. Come on, the West was severely threatened, and the Germans were the biggest threat. That's why all their scientists were brought over to the United States in Operation Paperclip. We took the best of the best. And then lo and behold, some months later, we have a nuke. Some people would say the Manhattan Project, we had Albert Einstein and all these people designing nukes and stuff. But I know in my spirit that we took Nazi scientists that were already about to develop the nuclear bomb. But they lost. Nazi Germany was too powerful. Hitler was part of the elite. Hitler was part of the higher class of people that run this entire reality. All the countries. The globalists, the bankers. He was once a part of that. He broke away. J.P. Morgan funded Hitler. Chase Bank funded Hitler. Prescott Bush funded Hitler. That's George W. Bush's grandfather. George H.W. Bush's dad. Also involved in Skull and Bones, which is in Yale. Located in Yale University. Come on, this is deep. Back to Operation Highjump, how does this relate to our reality? Because Antarctica is on the fringe of this reality. There are ice walls so high that you cannot get through. They're hiding. There are pyramids in Antarctica. There was an advanced civilization living there. It was destroyed. You guys have no idea about World War II. Why Germany has been so... What are you doing? You're going to get splinters all up in your paw, man. Why is Hitler so demonized to this very day? People compare you to Hitler if they don't like your opinion. You're a Nazi, you're this, you're that. Why? Because many of you already know this. He who wins the war writes history. He decides what is taught. Someone has to be demonized in every war. With Rome and Carthage, after Rome won, it was Carthage. After we, the West, beat Hitler in Germany and the Axis powers, it was all Germany. All Germany. Japan got nuked. Japan surrendered, but we ain't saying you're like the Emperor of Japan. No, we're saying nothing like that. You're like the Japanese. No. You're like Hitler. Because Hitler broke away from what you would call the Illuminati. The controllers of society. He broke away and was creating his own nation that was technologically number one. Economy, number one. Army, number one. Invention of the first jet, the Messerschmitt. Invention of the first submachine gun. They had the best machine gun, the MG-42. They created the first battle rifle. The first assault rifle. The Sturmgewehr 44, STG 44. They were so advanced. They had to be taken out. They had to be destroyed. Their banking system was not reliant upon these Jewish bankers. He's talking about Jews now. Oh shit! He was not reliant upon the Jewish bankers. After World War I, Germany was in hell. Hell. The amount of debt, the amount of property that was sold because people went bankrupt and the bankers were making so much money. Bringing communists and socialists into that nation, destroying that nation. The morality was hell. Women had to prostitute themselves to feed their children. German people were suffering at the hands of these Jewish bankers. Hitler knew what was going on. He was a corporal in World War I. He understood. He was writing in prison of what was really going on. He knew. He saw. And he was able to please his masters enough to get to the top, to run Germany. And after he did, he cut them off immediately. Created his own forces, his own laws. Germany was more prosperous than the United States or any nation at the time. Germany was number one. Don't you realize that? They were too big of a threat to the global banking system. It was the global banking system against Germany. All of the West against Germany. Against a country this big. And this all has to do with consciousness. The Thule Society was a society of enlightened individuals. In the Nazi Party, they had women in there, they had men in there, they had Nazi officials in there. But they were receiving information from higher beings. I'm not saying that it was right. They were demonic beings. Fallen angels that they were receiving information from on propulsion technology. Where do you think V2 rockets, all these things, where do you think they were getting all this? A lot of it was due to their own ingenuity, but a lot of it was also because they were receiving higher frequency things from fallen beings. The women would grow out their hair to extravagant lengths. Because it helps you to communicate. This is an extension of your nervous system, y'all. It's connected to the spine. We're electric beings. Why do you think when you get goosebumps? When you get goosebumps, your hair is reacting electronically. Your body is an electric system. Our organs run off electricity. The brain, the spine, the heart. The heart produces an electromagnetic field up to 12 to 15 meters around the body. That's why you can feel when somebody's irritated, angry, impatient. And I gotta get in soon and drink my smoothie, and guess what? Go work another day in the Matrix. But I'm not doing this for long, because I'm gonna start living for myself, doing what I love to do and making money. I don't want to build another's dream anymore, unless the dream is my family's, because I'm called to care for my family. He who does not care for his family, provide for his family, is worse than an unbeliever, is what the good book says. And all this can be compared to the Bible. The Bible talks about a firmament. The psalmist David speaks of the firmament, the glory of the firmament, the beauty. We can't go anywhere, you guys. Stop going other places in your mind, worrying about space, worrying about this and about that. Worry about yourself. If you feel the Holy Spirit's been drawing you to come into contact with the Son, take that opportunity. It doesn't matter if you have all knowledge and all wisdom and all power and all strength. If you do not have the Holy Spirit, if you do not have salvation, it means nothing. Even if you know that we're immortal beings, once we die, we are still going to live again in a new body. But whether or not you receive that new body is up to you. Either you're going to be glorified or you're going to be dishonored. And this is what it is. People need God. I'm about to sign off, but I just want to wish you guys blessings again. Sorry that this video was I bounced around a lot with my thoughts. And sometimes it is going to be hard for people to understand what I'm talking about. So I do apologize. But just take what I say and research it. Research these things. Heliocentrism, worship of the sun god. Operation Highjump. Operation Paperclip. Look into what World War II really was, and not what just they say in the books. Trust yourself. Now, before I end this video, I'm going to have to address the whole situation with the Nazis and the Jews, about what occurred in the camps and all that thing, and all that. So I'm going to go ahead and do my research, and I'm going to come through with some power. I don't want to see you're an anti-Semite, you're this, you're that. It don't matter what you say. I don't care what you say. I don't care if my YouTube is disconnected, if my YouTube channel becomes disconnected or deleted. I do not care. Because I'm getting this out one way or another. I don't care if I have to get on a stage with a microphone, because that's what it's going to come down to. But I love you guys all. I love all you guys. Wish the blessings of Jehovah upon you, of Jesus Christ upon you. Elevate. Christ relate. Meditate. Elevate. Signing off.